This is an example of the very first question on a foundation reading exam. In theory, these questions look easy because they rely on your understanding of single words rather than sentences or paragraphs. However, the problem can be if you don't actually recognise the words. You have to match them up to pictures, and it's really important to read all the instructions. So first of all, we're told to read the shopping list, which is here, and we're asked what is on the list, put a cross in the 4 correct boxes. On all Edexcel foundation questions, there are 4 marks per question. So it's really important to not lose marks by, for example, thinking that the example is worth 1 of the marks. They're not going to give you a mark for free, so you're going to put a further 4 marks there. Now let's look at the pictures and see if they ring any bells, because the problem with this sort of question is that if you can't remember the words, you're going to be stuck. This is why vocabulary learning repeatedly throughout the course is vital to help you on. Now you might remember, for example, pain. Just think of things like pain au chocolat, chocolate bread in the supermarkets, and maybe looking at that looks to me like jambon, which is not on the list. So let's have a look. We can't remember anything more off that set of pictures. Perhaps we can remember that one. Maybe un café au lait, a milk coffee. So we've got lait there. Excellent. So that's one of our words we can put a cross in there. We've also got champignon. That rings a bell, and when you compare that with the pictures, yep, you remember, there we go, mushrooms. We've got petit pois. That really rings a bell as well, but you're not too sure yet. We know that potatoes is one of the words there because that's been done in the example, and we remember talking about potatoes being apples of the earth, so that's crossed out, that's already gone anyway. So we're looking for, we've got champignon and lait, we've done those two. We're looking for petit pois and jus de fruits, and actually when we think about it, jus de fruits is really easy as well because you've got the word fruit and jus, and you've got a carton of fruit juice. So there we go. Now we might think that, oh, maybe petit pois is these little things here, these eggs, they're small, but then we change our mind. So we put a line through that because we remember, oh yeah, petit pois are peas, and that is our 4th answer. Question 2 is slightly more complicated because we're dealing now with short texts instead of just single word items. We need to look very carefully at what we're being asked. Again, read the information given on a display board in town, so some sort of adverts for different things available in town. Find the correct information for these people and put a cross in the correct box. Once again, we have an example done for us. This is a 4-mark question. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're only expecting to put 1 cross per person. And we have A, which has already gone. So at this point, we can put a cross through A. A has already been used. Let's have a look then. So Fatima wants to have an Italian meal, restaurant italien, that's gone. Pierre wants to buy food. So we might be looking out for words for a supermarket, a market, words for actual food, but these are all different places in a town. So we think of that sort of vocabulary. Juliette is going swimming, so we might be looking for a sports centre, centre sportif. We might be looking for the swimming pool, piscine, something that mentions natation. Luc needs to borrow a book. A book is a livre, but he doesn't want to buy a book, which he would do in the librairie. We're looking for the French word for a library. Let's come back to the words in a minute, but we can't remember the word for library at the moment, but it's possible, it's got to be in there somewhere. Ahmed is looking for a new sweatshirt, so we're looking for something to do with clothes. It might be too easy to give away the exact word there, but is there a clothes shop in there? Is it something to do with fashion, la mode? Could it be to do with vêtements, clothes? So let's have a look at our text then. We have En B, bibliothèque municipale, ouverte de 9 heures à 18 heures. The key word there is bibliothèque. The Bible is the most famous book in the world, and the bibliothèque is the library, which is where you can borrow a book from. So Luc needs to borrow a book. We're going to put B for Luc. Centre de loisirs. Well, that's not a sports centre, it's a leisure centre. It's got a gymnase, it's also got a piscine. Therefore, Juliette is going to go swimming, is C. D, hypermarché, bon prix, à 200 mètres d'ici. Okay, hypermarché. Marché, I remember, means a market. Supermarché is a supermarket. Even bigger, a hypermarket. He wants to buy food, where better? So he's D. So all we have left now is Ahmed. And notice that, if I just put the highlighter on for you, we've only got one cross per column because each place is only going to be used once. We've only got one cross per line because each person is only going to do one thing. So we're still looking for Ahmed's new sweatshirt. He's not going to get that at the coiffeur because the coiffeur is where we go to have our hair done. It's a hairdresser. Salon de coiffure is a hairdresser's salon. Let's have a look at F, see what we've got in there. We've got mode, meaning fashion, and we've got vêtements, clothes, vêtements pour toute la famille, for all the family. That's ideal. So the answer there is F.